Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to another episode of Mark My Words, where I am Mark and these are my words. And today we're talking about gaming. Yes, the best thing in the absolute fucking world. And who better to talk to than someone who is actually working on Twitch? It's my absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Stuart Waters. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. Of course, it's nice to interview someone who's not Scott. So yeah, fair play. He's been a wonderful guest each time. So it's nice to speak to someone who's different and got different interests. Because at the moment with this podcast, I'm trying to get as much like variety as I can. So I try to talk about. So in this one, we're going to talk about like the benefits of gaming and stuff like that. So first big question: what was the first game console you ever owned then?
Oh, personally, it was the PlayStation. I started off in 1994. I owned well, me and my brother owned it first because we it was kind of like the story as always. My brother would get the latest console, and I would always get my own one later. And it was the case that my brother had the Sega Master System, but I was like young at the time. I was 93. When he had the Master System, I was newborn baby then. So I started with a PlayStation. That was the first game I owned and game console I owned, and had Gran Turismo with it, which is pretty awesome.
Awesome. Start off with a racing game then. Fuck, Mine was
Yeah.
the mine was the Sega Mega Drive.
All
Uh,
right. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know. We
So
seem to have skipped with that. It was very strange because, like, my nan, when we always go over her house, and my cousins had the Mega Drive and the consoles there, but we only ever had the Master System, which was the one before, and then we just jumped straight over. We jumped ship.
the thing is with the PS1, it's a great console to start off with, isn't it? Because that's when they started like improving the graphics and all that. Do you say Gran Turismo was the first game you ever played then?
No, no, because one of my brother owned the PlayStation 1 first. The games that he had were FIFA 98 and Tekken. So I always used to fight Yoshimitsu versus his king. We had a really big rivalry going on.
Me and my brother used to have a rivalry with Tekken 3. It actually got to the point, right, where I beat him about 10 times in a row. And as I got up to take a piss, he unplugged my controller, tried to have a bit of a head start on me.
Oh God. Is the absolute slyness that people can get to in that game. It's
He
it's
can't take
unreal.
losing, see? He literally
No?
can't take losing. He's terrible, man.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
What game would you say sums up your nostalgia?
I probably say, oh, it's between two. Just because I always love coming back to it, pretty much every single time, is Ratchet and Clank, because that was the real platform where I really got into the story, enjoyed the manic animation, the weapons, the creative way that you could engage in combat with different enemies, and then it sort of evolved as you went through the series. Then when you go through the first game, you've got the directional um, combat, but then obviously it worked with strafing, moving left and right and all that, and sort of evolved as we went through the games. It's grown even more now because of the fact that it's multi-platform for nostalgia purposes. You've got the PS2 trilogy, you've got the PS3 trilogy, you've got the PlayStation 4 remake. So much to always come back to and experience nostalgia that way.
Yeah, I've got the PS4 one actually, and I'm really enjoying it. It did take me a while to get a grips of it, but I'm kind of loving the humor and how it doesn't take itself that seriously.
No, and I really like the perspective that it took, where it didn't go by the movie route. Actually made it into a completely unique sort of story, taking it from Captain Quark's perspective, and they could change a few elements as well to make it unlike the original. So I really like that take on it.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really getting me excited now. They're starting to remake a lot of the old games that we've known and loved. For example, like the Resident Evil franchise. The first game I completed was RE2, the original. You should have seen the look of me when RE2 remake was coming out. I was literally
Oh my
palpitations,
goodness.
everything.
And it just the quality. You could just imagine the difference now. It was a pixelated game when it originally came out, and to see it in such amazing quality, amazing animation and polygons and everything, just looking so beautiful. As it can give like first time fans a real glimpse of like the Resident Evil franchise. in its beauty. Not to say that you want to forget the originals, but it gives like the what if with the technology that we have now, and we can remake the classics in such beautiful visuals. It's just amazing to see, and I think taking the inspiration from like Resident Evil 7, when you got like the control scheme, the menu, and the way you could organize your inventory, and then also taking the elements that worked well with the Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, I thought was a recipe for success.
Yeah, because that's one thing about RE7. Like, it kind of creeped me out a bit because it's first person, especially with horror. I can deal with COD or something like that. You know what's coming. You're gonna get shot. But things to jump at you when you feel like it's actually coming at you, it's like, holy fucking shit.
It's definitely a lot more cerebral. Definitely like more psychological with that, instead of just like the physical element of the horror and the terror and the zombies. It really gets into your head, this one. And I can't wait for Resident Evil 8 to come out as well. I'm so excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna man up and give that one a go. just for drinks. I probably end up
Yeah.
drinking with it, like just to make it more interesting. Hey, I shat myself with Mr. X in RE2 Remake. The second he burst through the wall, I was like, oh, fuck it!
Yeah, the surprise he gets, and just like bursting through walls and stuff. So good.
Yeah, me and a friend of mine, we nicknamed him. We tried to get the S plus ranks all the way through. Like, I've done it on all 4 scenarios now, and we called him Jeeves.
What do you want to ask him?
Oh yes, yeah. Do you want to kill me? Yes. It's because he reminds us of the butler from Lara's home in the original Tomb Raider series. He just followed you everywhere.
Winston.
Yes. So the only problem with this one, you couldn't
Winston.
lock him in the freezer. Like,
No, I just break out of it.
when you played the game, like, did you ever troll him on the rooms that he couldn't get into, like the dark room or the clock tower? As well, I did a few of that. I'd come out, I shoot him in the back, and then he'd come chase me, and I close the door.
Yeah, it's always funny because he could open the door and walk in, but then he just open the door, take a peek, and then just go close the door again.
It's weird because his body would change like that as he's trying. Because the more you piss him off, the faster he walks, isn't it? So
Yeah.
And he can only just get his head out, and as the door's closing, it's like it's gonna smash his face in. There was one glitch as well, right? As I went to go open it, he pulled me out the save room.
Oh my goodness.
He flipped me out. Do you know, it flips you round and puts you on your ass. That's what he did to me. I was like, oh god, no. I thought I better run up the stairs now. Bye. I've really cheesed him off.
That's no mercy there. I would be raging.
I was laughing my head off, like, because it was like a most complete one-off. Like, it happened once, but it also happened recently as well, because I started playing it again. I unlocked all the weapons and all that, like, and I tried it. Okay, I'll do it without the weapons now, so I'll just try and do it properly again, like try and feel the difficulty. But yeah, little bastard threw me out the clock tower. I was like,
oh, I'm not trying that again.
What games have you rage quit in?
I mean, definitely Crash Bandicoot is definitely one of them. I remember when they started doing the re-releases on PlayStation 3, and you can get like the original trilogy on there. Definitely the first one was the hardest. And like, it's definitely a lot more like platformers, like Ape Escape used to play, and that was always, and probably still is today, like a frustrating one, just because of the unpredictability of the monkeys that you're trying to catch. Probably say like more recent games like Fall Guys. Ultimate Knockout is a right proper one, just because of the fact that if you don't have best connection, the servers are still yet to be worked out.
Okay.
There'd just be instances where it seems to sense that it's making contact with a person that's next to you, like physical contact, but there's the space there. It's just really illogical when that happens. And it just seems so unfair. And after that, especially when you get screwed out of a win, when you make it to the final round and you get into the last level, if you are getting knocked out because of something as silly as that, then I'm done. I'm absolutely done.
Definitely, because a lot of things I rage at. So when you're dealing with a boss fight and you've got down to like a sliver of his health, and you're just waiting to line up your perfect killing blow. All of a sudden, you're dead, and you're just
I
like,
had oh my goodness, I had the um, real funny moment. It was recently, like, a couple of weeks ago, when I was playing Marvel's Avengers. I fell victim to the error occurred screen.
oh yeah,
Um, it was the final boss of the downloadable content on Marvel's Avengers, where you play as Hawkeye,
okay,
and you got the final boss of the story. The first time I played, I got knocked down, and of course your teammates got to come to revive you, and these are NPC like teammates, so they come and revive you. But something happened where the character you were playing, Hawkeye, was set to a standard stock where your arms are outstretched and you're like in a T position. I get moved to sort of the other end of the fighting place where we're fighting the final boss. I somehow just get dragged over there while they're in this position. I go back to normal, and I'm in the knockdown position. So I carry on, I fight through it, and the screen completely goes black when I defeat the boss. However, that wasn't the end of the story.
okay,
I come back next week. I try the boss again, and I'm gonna say I'll stay clear of them. I'll just do the ranged attacks, because Hawkeye has got loads of different ranged things: shotgun, explosive arrows, that sort of thing. So I'll stay further away and just shoot them down. Do it. Finish the battle. The cutscene starts to play. As soon as it gets to the part sort of midway through the cutscene, freezes and says error occurred. I was like, I'm done. I watched the final cutscene somewhere else. I'm not doing this again.
I would have cried. I would have cried.
Oh my god! The way I've recorded it. I'm proud. It's a funny moment.
Even though it's a horrible moment for you to feel, you know it's going to be very entertaining for other people to watch as well, isn't it? So it's like,
Yeah.
because there's one guy I watch, right, and he speedruns Bloodborne. Jesus Here's Toast. This new video I watched, right, he's got it on 60 FPS, so it absolutely looks fucking gorgeous. But the aggression on the enemies is much higher, and the blood is literally everywhere. So you kill one enemy, everything just looks red. It's great. But the enemies will be aggravated from miles away and come and hunt you down. And the amount of times he died was... It's like you couldn't believe it. It's like, holy god, this is fucking bonkers. I would have been in my head against the wall. Because I struggle with the game on normal difficulty. Like, I die all the time. I fluked completing it.
It's mad. Like, I've seen some of the people play through it, and they're stuck on a boss battle for days on end. And I don't I admire their persistency, because I'd never be able to go that far. I have to leave it for like a few days.
I kind of have to do that and then come back to it, and then now and again I'll try and beat the boss. Like, but there was one I was stuck on ages ago. But what annoyed me was I beat him by luck the first time, and then it took me about 25 tries to get him. He was fucking Father Gascoigne. I mean, this guy's an absolute prick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best word I can put for this podcast. So I gotta cut out some of my vocabulary, because I did have other words, but I'm not sharing them yet.
It's crazy. Like, when it's one of the stages in like the first Ratchet and Clank game, I got really stuck on. It was the planet Orxon. We had like the green. You couldn't go around until you had like a breathable mask, so you had to let Clank go up first. When it came to the point where you got the mask, I got really stuck because I didn't know where to go, and I kept losing direction, and it was so hard to avoid the attacks from the different enemies, including the ones with the big claws and stuff, that I had to leave for a few days and come back to it. The number of tries to get past that planet is horrible.
Yeah, I just love it. Like, certain games, they just go on, you sort yourself out. But yeah, I have faith in you. It's fine. Like, it's like no hints, nothing. No. You, if you die, you die. I can't help you.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like when I played Bloodborne for the first time, because I showed it to my mate Niall before, and he got really angry, right? We were only in, like, the beginning bit, Central Yarnum, and we were getting our asses handed to us left, right, and centre by the villagers. And he said, why do they make a game this hard? Why does it have to be this hard?
Oh God, I don't know. I feel like I should give it a go, but I don't know how long I'd last. But like make it a challenge or something to see how long I go before
You're
I
better
stop.
off turning it into a drinking game. Every time you die, take a shot. But the only problem is you'll die a lot.
Yeah, there's some people who I know are doing that already. Some people I watch in the US, and they've got that as a challenge.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of, like, different runs. Like, some people like do double wielding guns, or like the randomizers are fucking mental.
Oh God.
That's what. And the only thing is, you have to kill the enemies, otherwise the game will crash.
Oh
So you
wow.
so you have no choice but to face them. You can't bob and weave around them, etc. So
So
you
they're like
gotta,
modded versions.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it does look a lot of fun, like, but it's weird seeing, like, one of the more stronger enemies near the beginning of the game, and you're just like, okay, I'm in trouble now. Can I just offer a handshake and go, hi,
Yeah.
I'm a hunter, it's okay.
Can we just parlay?
Yeah, but what's that word? Parsley, yeah, that's the one. Here's an interesting question for you. If you had to pick only one console to play for the rest of your life, what would you pick and why?
Or does it have to be specific, or a series of consoles?
What's brought you most joy, and what's your main go-to at the moment, I'd say?
Oh, I mean, I'd probably say like the PlayStation 4, just because of the fact that I've been able to experience so much nostalgia through it. It's, it's been a real reliving of my childhood, bringing back it because like they did like the re-release on PlayStation 4 of Ape Escape 2. I got to own that game through PlayStation Plus. I got that game for free, and I was like, thank you so much, PlayStation. Um, and there was so much teasing when like the PlayStation 4 was coming out, when they did the 20th anniversary PlayStation, and they got the original colors. They got it original for the controller as well. And they showed like so much teasers, like with the Crash Bandicoot logo on like a road sign. And then they did the things like Spyro and stuff. And I'm still waiting for when they do Ape Escape. I want them to do it so bad, because it's been they celebrated their 20-year anniversary as well of Ape Escape coming out on the PlayStation 1. So I really want them to do it. But yeah, I definitely say if it was a specific console, I definitely say the PlayStation 4 is definitely something I continue to play from here on out. It's become like sort of my new PS2.
Hmm.
So the reasons I get to play like all the old games that I've had before.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The PlayStation Store and stuff, it does definitely cater to nostalgia quite a lot, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and and that's one thing I love about it. What's Scott mentioned now? He's downloaded something. Oh yeah, the two PS2 games of Lord of the Rings, Two Towers and Return of the King.
Yes, I remember seeing. Those are good. I really enjoy, like especially Return of the King. That was like the first probably game on PS2 that I put time in to try and get through, because like the campaign missions, they were not easy, even on just
No,
like the normal difficulty level.
I did. I screwed it up in co-op. Me and my brother used to play it all the time. But the only problem is, I'd get that aggressive with it that I'd unintentionally nick all the heals.
Oh,
So you got a swarm of enemies. Of course, I'm just hacking and slashing, going around. Like I was like, no,
yeah, no,
I'm
I
having
do. I
it.
do the same.
I do the same thing with Hyrule Warriors for the Switch, because there's literally swarms and swarms of enemies. Of course, as Link's got this move where you can just hop on his shield and just slide through them. So it's literally like you're bowling them. It's like strike, ooh, split.
Yeah,
So and I just love little games like that, because it's just like, where you could just take your aggression out on them. I say
yeah,
I always feel
yeah.
much calmer and happier after a game like that. Like,
Show your supremacy and dominance.
this is why you never see an angry GTA lover. Like,
That's true.
oh, here's one. Now, what's the first GTA game you played then?
Oh, probably the third one.
Hmm.
Well, I didn't get like far into the missions because I don't know why, I can't remember why, but as soon as I got into the sort of the shooting missions where you first got like a gun and a pistol first time, I just stopped.
Hmm.
And I can't remember whether it was just because I wanted to play other games at the times, or I don't know. I just stopped when I got to like the pistol missions in GTA 3. I just like the driving. I just preferred like just driving around and stuff. But then the one like proper got into was like GTA 4 and like the GTA 4 stories, and then GTA 5. I was really proper into that one. So GTA 4 was like the proper one that I played.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Nico Bellic. He's just such a cool guy, isn't he? I was like,
No mercy from him. Doesn't take any shit from anyone. Excuse my language. And he's just um, he's just funny. He's just like really really funny in terms of his interactions with his family and the acquaintances that you meet.
"Oh, Roman, any chance of me getting a cape?" I just loved it when you can get him and Roman drunk. And the only problem is they get to the point where they can't even walk and you got to drive home. And the only problem is if you're not careful, you get arrested.
Oh God. That's so good.
I,
Roman's
I
such a
just
funny character, it's amazing.
because I think I spent most of the time on that game like playing darts. I used to get 180 each time. Oh yes,
Yeah.
140. Great.
Some of the extra activities were quite fun to do.
Hmm.
Like especially like playing tennis in GTA 5. That was good.
I think the one thing that threw me was I think it was the yoga classes. I
Oh
couldn't.
yeah.
Oh,
Pain. It was all right pain. Just because you
well,
had to hold
yeah,
the analog sticks in like particular positions and just like oh.
yeah. Just like I was like this. Can I get? No, no, I'm got it. And then he just falls on his ass. I'm like, okay. One thing I loved about GTA 5 was the alternate endings. Like,
Yeah.
which one did you pick first?
The Death Wish one.
Oh
I went
yeah.
for the Death Wish. I wanted to go all out because I knew um, I had an inkling, and I didn't spoil it for myself. I didn't want to spoil it, but I knew that the first two choices were going to end up as they were. So I
Hmm.
wanted to see how the Death Wish was going to end, whether it ends up with like Franklin Dino sacrificing himself for his team or whatever. Um, that's the one I wanted for because of the mystery of what was going to happen.
Yeah, I started with Death Wish because I was like, well, I got 3 characters. I don't really want to kill one of them off.
No, I didn't want to either. I got to love him too much.
Especially when you're like switching from any of the other two straight to Trevor. I'm just like, oh my god, you'd find him anywhere. Like,
Oh my god, he was one of the best like ones for combat, just because it was just switch shoot, and um, the craziness of his antics is amazing.
yeah, because one of his bonus abilities was rage, wasn't it? So you could just mow things down.
I love those missions, the rampage mission.
I think I remember one time I switched to him and he was chasing someone on a moped, and he was also on a moped as well. He said, "Scooter brothers, scooter brothers."
Oh, I
I'm
forgot
just like,
that.
so each time is like he always wakes up like drunk in a dumpster or in the middle of nowhere wearing a dress.
Yes, like sleeping in an alleyway or not.
That's the one thing I love about the GTA games. Like, not just the missions, like a lot of the pointless crap that you end up doing is just so much fun as well.
Yeah.
Like, I found an area where I could find sharks, and I was trying to swim underwater and punch one. And of course, I got eaten, obviously. But I wanted to see if I could kill a shark with my bare hands. There's one thing I've been meaning to ask you because I checked out one of your videos earlier. It was Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Fuck, what a beautiful game.
Oh, it was my favorite game of 2020, and that's the first time I've experienced Final Fantasy VII because I never played the original, and
Hmm.
just to see because I've seen the intro and I know, you speed you play like the demo discs and you see like the opening cutscene as part of it anyway, but just to see the build of that intro, the musical compositions that were made with it as well, the remakes of the battle themes,
Hmm.
the opening theme as well, the ending theme, even the menu theme as well. soon as you start up the game and you just hear it, it just gives you chills, like proper chills. And then when it goes into battle and you see the different attacks that are made by Cloud, by Tifa, Barrett, and Aerith, with bright, colourful sparks and different shapes and colours, it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous to look at.
I think I had a copy of the PS1 version when I was little, and it was too hard for me to grasp because I never got past the beginning bit. I think as soon as it came to the first boss, I died. And of course,
oh really?
One thing I like about the remake is you could just attack enemies straight away, like whereas the original was old school RPG. Hugo.
Yeah.
Hugo.
The active time battle.
Mm.
That's why I think I feel better getting introduced to the format now, with like sort of the Final Fantasy 15 format, because they obviously took the battle system from Final Fantasy 15 and implemented it into Final Fantasy 7's battle gameplay. I think having the sort of activeness of it with the hack and slash sort of element of it where you're playing as Cloud, and then the tactical side of it where you get to choose the different moves as well on the other side, I think is really, really clever, because it gives a sort of realisticness to it.
Yeah,
you're not really standing around in a battle when it's melee weapons and melee combat. You're not going to stand around and take turns and all that, even though that was the form that Final Fantasy was working on. Then you decide the tactics of the move to do it in real time. They were getting there. They were getting there somewhere with Final Fantasy 13, but now to actively control your camera and its movements as well while you're playing out the tactical attacks, I think they've hit the nail on the head now.
Definitely, because after watching your footage, I'm definitely going to get myself a copy now and end up downloading it, because I think I'm going to have a terrific time with it. And
yeah, you absolutely will. It's just a real enthusiastic and invigorating experience. So you will enjoy it, I'm sure.
Oh, fair play. Hey, thank you so much for listening in, guys. Like I said before, I release videos every Wednesday, so definitely stay tuned. If you want to see any of Stu's stuff, I'll put a link in the description to his channel. And of course, I'll be trying to get links to his Twitch as well. I'll squeeze them out of him. Come on, give me the info. Give me the info.
No.
Tell me where the money is, Stuart. Tell me where the money is.
Where's my money? Where's my money, man?
You freaking psychopath.
Hey, clean yourself up.
Yeah, how much do you pay for that fake mustache?
$5.
Oh. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notifications button so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you and good day, guys. Say goodbye, Stuart.
Farewell. Stay safe and stay healthy.